feel like I'm pretty attractive. Do I think I'm the best looking person on this earth? No. Do I think I'm everybody's cup of tea? No. But this dating pool that I have in this generation of mine, it makes me second guess every fucking thing. I went on a date with this guy. It seemed like everything was fine. I feel like guys on the first date, they always put their best foot forward. Majority of the time, they come off at first and you're like, okay, you seem normal. You seem like a nice person. You seem like somebody, that I can
I
talk to
mean, everybody
normally. You're
does
not
that.
being too sexual. You're not sexualizing me. You seem all right. He asked me
Almost.
where I would like to go on our date. That was red flag number one. I don't care what you like. I don't care how you are. I don't care about your preferences.
Hold on,
But
wait. How is a man asking you where you want to go on a date a red flag? Mind you, it's not like y'all are talking for months or weeks upon months where you would have taken the time to get to know certain things about the person where you can make an educated guess that okay, she would like this. You said you met on a dating app, which means it's less than substantial amount of time to really get to.
for me, if a guy is asking me on a date, I want him to already have a place in mind. But nonetheless, since he asked me, I said, you know what, to be honest, I don't like dinner dates. I think they're boring. Just go.
Bro, you can't make this up. She literally just said it was a red flag for the guy to ask her where she want to go. And not even 5 seconds later, she doesn't like dinner dates. So what if the guy had planned a dinner date? Would that have also been a red flag? So this seems like a situation where the guy couldn't win.
Want to get food. I'm like, I like to do any kind of date where we're doing some kind of activity, whether it be like bowling or mini golf or even just taking a damn walk. If you garden, if you're a fellow gardener, do that and walk around or go to Waffle House. I don't give a damn. Just something else. We could get food if you want to, but that can't be the main part of the date because I feel like there are better ways to break the ice. He goes, that's actually great because I partake in gardening as well. So why don't we do that and maybe walk around the city for a little bit? I'll show you this part up in Cincinnati where I like to walk around and there's like a little water fountain or something. And we can walk around there and just get to know each other. I said, that actually sounds really great. That's definitely my vibe. Let's do that. We decided to meet up in a random parking lot. This is during the day, by the way. And the vibes were off right away. As soon as I get out of my car, this guy is eyeing me up and down. I'm like, hi, how are you? It's nice to finally meet you. He's like, I thought you would have wore a dress. I'm like, why do you think I would have wore a dress? I didn't say that I would. He's like, because in your pictures on your dating profile, a lot of your pictures, you're wearing like those cute little sundresses. I said, oh, that's completely by coincidence. I didn't really mean to only pick pictures with me wearing sundresses. That's not really all that I wear. That's probably when I felt, the cutest or whatever. So those are the pictures that I posted.
He was messed up for that. Like, even if you're thinking it, keep it to yourself or watch how you say it because that sends off the wrong energy, bro. That would turn off anybody. It's like a woman saying she sees you in your photos in suits and you're going on a date and she says to you, I thought you would wear a suit. You didn't have a conversation about what the attire would be, or you didn't put in a specific request as a requirement for whatever the activity was. For example, if you're planning a date and you say to her, I want you to wear something semi casual, but a bit red. And if it's like a sundress or something, make it fitted. Just an example. Because I've done that before where I planned a date and I told her what I want her to wear. So if it was something like that, yes. But in this situation, no, bro.
I'm like, but genuinely, if it's something like casual, like what we're doing right now, I'm not wearing a sundress. Plus, it wasn't exactly like the weather was not approved for a damn sundress. It definitely looked like it was probably going to pour down in a little bit. He's like, oh, okay, well, what you're wearing is fine. Did I ask though? Did I ask though? So that was kind of like strike one for me. Okay. He's like, if you want, we can do this in my car and then we can walk around here and I'll show you where the fountain is. I'm like, cool, you lead the way. When we get to his car, he opens the door for me and he's like, I just want to tell you something and I hope you don't take offense to it. I'm like, oh Lord, what the hell is he about to say to me? He's like, you have a really big butt. Like, huge. And I'm like, I know. I know, right? He's like, no, like, it's huge. Like, it's absolutely huge. I don't know if I'll be able to handle all that. I just awkwardly giggle that off and get in
Yeah.
the car and shut my own fucking
Yeah.
door. He goes to his side. Mind you,
Kind of
after he
too
made
early.
that comment, I didn't say another fucking word. He got in the car, and I'm just like, okay. I felt like right in that moment I had decided that after this interaction he will never see me the fuck again. But I'm like, I gotta see it through because I don't want him to think that I'm being like rude and being like, okay, fine, I'm going home, I'm leaving. Men don't like rejection like that. He can fucking kill me or something. So I'm like, I'm not going to escalate this. I'm just gonna act nonchalant. Now, when I'm just meeting someone for the first time and
Now, I get what she's saying. She doesn't want a situation to escalate. It doesn't want to make it a bigger deal than it already is. I got it. However, you should have checked it him in a respectful way, of course, in that time by letting him know that his comment made you uncomfortable or however you felt during that time. Now, depending on how he takes that, that would have told you everything you needed to know about this person. If he took it in a bad way, then immediately end the date and ask to leave. If he took it in a good way, was receptive, then move on with your date. But I understand your thought process about avoiding danger, but you are also setting up yourself to end up in a position that you wouldn't want to be in because of keeping your mouth shut. I highly recommend when people do stuff, address it. Don't sweep it under the rug and don't leave it unaddressed for too long. Because one thing that um, forms the perception of people about you is the things that you allow.
gardening with them for the first time, I bring my own stuff. Because the way people be lacing stuff these days, I'm bringing my own shit. So I had it in my purse. I pull it out and I told him that he's more than welcome to share mine with me. And he's like, do you want to hit mine? Do you want to hit this pen? I said no, and I explained to him that I, don't smoke other people's stuff because, you just never know. And he goes, oh, that's weird. I'm like, why is that weird? He's like, I don't know. I feel like when I've smoked with people before, they don't bring their own stuff. They just assume that, me as the guy, I'll have it. I said, well, that's a weird assumption. But I didn't, so it's okay. More for you, more for me. I start taking very, very small puffs of this because I'm thinking I need to be alert and I need to be aware of my surroundings because this guy's already proven to be really fucking weird. So I'm like, I'm not going to get too messed up. So I just take little tiny hits. After a little bit, I can tell that he's pretty high because his eyes are kind of glazed over. He has his hand on my thigh. And I'm thinking that I'm just chill enough. I'm like, okay, you ready to go walk? He goes, well, I kind of don't feel like it anymore. What do you mean? He's like, I feel like I'm pretty high. Like, I don't think I want to walk
Bro,
anymore. I'm like, that's the
man.
perfect time to walk, especially if you feel like you got too high and you still got to drive home. Let's walk around a little bit. You'll start to feel probably a little bit better. He's like, no, I don't feel bad or anything. I just feel like just sitting here talking to you. He's like, you just have such gorgeous eyes. And that's when I fucking knew. That's when the fuck I knew what the fuck this was. So then I just kind of look at him and I'm like, Yeah, but I'd rather go out and walk and get some fresh air. That's how I feel a little bit more comfortable gardening with somebody else. He's like, yeah, but we could play some music and just sit here together and I can just look into your eyes. You are so gorgeous, by the way. I just had to tell you that. You are just so gorgeous. I'm like, yeah, well, if you don't want to walk, I'd rather not continue with this date because I was really looking forward to walking around and seeing the fountain. He's like, you're going to leave over that? Like, I thought we were having a good time. We were vibing. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, we actually haven't been vibing, really. You made an awkward moment. We started gardening just now. I'm chilled out waiting for you.
Hold on. Is she saying gardening or gardening? Because I'm hearing gardening, which think I'm thinking that they're gonna visit a garden. So, somebody clarify that for me, please.
So that we can go walk. We haven't really been having like a vibing kind of moment. It's just me just been waiting. Like I've been, got my stuff in. You're over there. I'm sitting over here. Do 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 do. So then he sits back like he's fucking pouting or something, and he's like, "Girls like you." He's like, "This always happens." I'm like, "What always happens?" He's like, "You
Yeah.
girls don't know when you've met a really good guy, and that's really disappointing." I'm like, I don't know where you're getting that from, but all I'm saying is that I would like to continue this date with you, but let's walk around. I don't want to just sit in this muggy ass car with you. He's like, if you really liked me, you would want to sit in this car with me. He's like, what is so wrong with just sitting here and us just talking? I'm calling you beautiful. I'm telling you your eyes are gorgeous. Like, I just want to spend some time with you and get to know you. What's so wrong with that? And I'm like, because I just met you. Like, we just met today. This is not like you and I have not built this rapport for me to want to just sit in your car with you. So I'd rather go and walk around like we already had planned. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. And now I feel weird because you're making me seem like I'm some creep or something trying to hold you hostage in this car. So I'm like, no, that's not what I'm thinking at all. I just would really love to go walk. He's like, what do you think? I'm some kind of stalker? What do you think? I'm going to like hurt you or something? He's like, if I'm being honest with you, you're not even that cute. He's like, you're cute and everything. Like you might look good, but it's not like you're like the best looking thing in the world. Why in the world would I want to hold you hostage? And there it
Truth is
is.
out.
I'm
Cat's
like,
out of the
okay,
bag.
fine. I'll sit here with you in your car. I'm like, I don't think that you're a creep at all. I will sit right here with you and we can talk. We just met each other. I was just feeling a little bit weird. You're right. I just want to sit here. I said, can I get something out of my car real quick? He's like, what do you need to get? I said, you and I have different phone ports, so I want to go get my cord out of my car since we're going to be sitting here for a while, so that way I can charge my phone while we're sitting here just in case we do go somewhere later. He's like, cool. He's like, I'm actually excited about this. He's like, I'm sorry I got so offended. It's just girls always do this to me. I got out of his car. I got in my front seat, acting like I was reaching for something. I shut my damn door, cranked my car up, and I sped the fuck off. Blocked him on everything. He never saw me
Yeah.
again. I, like, dating is. People make it so fucking hard. They make it so motherfucking hard. I fear that I just might be single forever.
Look, man. Yeah, the guy was weird. Straight up, he was weird. And the moment he started giving her, I would say, I don't know if I'm using the right word right now, but outlandish comments, you know what type of time he's on. Look, based off your story, miss, he just wanted to smash and have a good time, and that was it. Like, the guy wasn't really interested in building something, I don't know, substantial. Sounds like you had higher expectations for the date than he had. That's pretty much it. But you handled the situation okay enough, I would say. Next time, just don't prolong something more than it needs to be. But you did the right thing by getting up out of there because who knew what would have happened afterwards.
I just got back from a first and last date that had the most terrible ending, and I want to tell you about it because it was so insane that I was like, I need to share this because I feel like people have gone through this, and I want to focus more on the red pill agenda mentality, the way that it is like poisoning men versus his character, because I feel like that really is what the problem was. This man, who I also have blocked on Instagram and phone number, and I didn't block him on TikTok because I was like, you know what? I'm not ashamed of how I feel. And I also feel like this could be a learning lesson for him if he's open to hearing it, and maybe he can see how wild his behavior was. I met him about a year ago at an event that we worked together. He had been pursuing me for a while, kept messaging me, asking me out, saying that he wanted to like, you know, meet up. Finally, I was like, okay, sure. I perceived him to be younger than he was, so I was like, I don't think like age-wise he's necessarily someone I would go for, but he's super nice. You know, the couple times we worked together, he was very nice. We laughed, whatever, like we got along. So I was like, let me give him a chance. Let me not be so close-minded, because even if there is an age gap, maybe there could be something there. So mistakes were made. So he was like, okay, cool. I made a reservation at this place. I'll meet you there at this time. You know, we'll get drinks. It's happy hour, whatever. Get some light bites, and then we'll see, like, maybe we'll go for drinks somewhere else or whatever. And I was like, cool. We meet up. I want to say like 2 hours passed of us, like, you know, we ordered tapas. I was having like a little sangria. He was having his drink. We were having a great time. We're having great conversation. There were definitely some flags that were raised. But me being in my like, let's be open-minded space, I was like, okay, this guy clearly is like a nice person, and there's some ways that he thinks that I think could be detrimental to dating, but I don't think it's enough for me to like write him off. And I like his energy. He seems like a nice person. I like some of the ways that he views the world in like a very positive sense. But one thing he did say was, I don't get into conversations about religion or politics because I feel like that's iffy. And I was like, uh-oh, that usually means like secret MAGA or like secretly conservative or secretly oppressive towards women. And every woman knows this when it comes to like being on Hinge or Bumble. If a guy says like not political, he's probably has beliefs that are oppressive towards you or towards, you know, a marginalized group of people. We get toward the end of the date. The waiter brings the check. The check sits there for like 15 minutes. And I'm in a space now, because I'm older, to where I don't feel uncomfortable and feel like I need to offer to pay half, because I'm like, you asked me out, you wanted to see me, it's the first date, you should be paying for it. And so the check is sitting there, and the waiter comes over and he's like, hey, you know, should we take care of this? It's been a while, you guys gonna pay? And he gets mad awkward, and like his face gets kind of serious, and he's like, oh yeah, I guess so. And he like goes into his pocket like slowly. The waiter walks away, and then he's like, so like, you know, like just to be transparent, like this wasn't a date necessarily. And I was like, okay. And he goes, yeah, I mean, like, you know, I could like pay for it, but if you want to split it, like we could do that. I was like, okay. And then he's like, but you know, so let me ask you, like, what's going on with your dating life? What's your dating life been like? And I was like, well, I haven't been on a date since February. It is now July, because I've been working on myself. I've been healing, and I'm being very intentional and very specific about what I'm looking for. So like, I'm not, you know, my stage of like having fun and just going out just to go out is behind me. And so like, that's kind of where I'm at, and I haven't really been dating anybody. And he was like, okay, cool. And I was like, how's dating been going for you? And he goes, yeah, well, you know, I'm starting a new job soon. I'm not really in a place to like get into anything serious. I'm not really looking for a relationship. I'm not necessarily looking for a one-night stand, but I'm looking for kind of that middle spot. And I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, but you know, like, if you want to, you know, the next one could be a date if you want to go out again. And I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, I mean, or, you know, I could pay for this now if you want to give me some ass. As soon as he said that, mind you, there are people near us. So they like these tables, we're sitting on a patio. The tables are very close by. So there's a couple to our left. There's people like back, you know, behind him and behind me. And he said this loud enough for them to hear. And the table next to us, I don't know if they were listening to the conversation, but the guy turned over and looked at us. And in my head, I was like, that's wild to say. And that's wild to say in front of other people in like mixed company in a public space. Like literally, I will pay for this meal if you'll sleep with me. Not even trying to hide the fact that this is a transactional thing for him. And I feel like this is a thing that I have come across a couple times before, or at least one time really seriously before, where men are being coached into hiding their red pill mentality and revealing it at a moment where you're kind of a little bit invested already, just to test you and see how you react. Because I had something similar happen back in, I want to say like March, where I was talking to a guy. We met, we were talking, laughing, whatever. We had a great time. I want to say like an hour into talking. We weren't on a date. We met in like a public space. And then when we exchanged numbers and we talked on the phone later on that night, that's when he showed his red pill mentality and was just did a complete 180 to where I was like, I don't even recognize the person that I'm talking to right now. And we just met. And who you're showing me is literally Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like, who is this other person? I've definitely come across dating coaches where they talk about staying on top of what the red pill atmosphere is talking about and the tips and tricks and the methods they're teaching them.
Okay.
And I don't really want to subject myself to that because it's just going to make me angry. And I don't want to be resentful towards men more than I already am, because I know there are good men out there. So I don't want that to warp my view of men in general. But it is important to stay on top of these things and to be aware of them, because I feel like that's what was happening. It very much seemed like something he had been like coached into doing versus something necessarily that he was doing because he genuinely believed that it was the right thing to do. Maybe he did, I could be wrong, but because it's been a pattern that I'm seeing where men are showing like their really good side, and it's kind of like, it seems like they're coaching them into do all the things that women want, ask her out, make the reservations, and then flip the switch on her and see how she responds. Like, if you want her to pay her, if you want her to put out, then like see how she responds to that. So that didn't work on me because I am in a very different space than where I was 10 years ago. I think with age comes wisdom. And so I basically left. I was like, hey, I need to go to the restroom. And I went to the restroom and I actually asked the waitress inside, I was like, do y'all have a back exit? Because I'm on a really terrible date. And she was like, no, I'm so sorry. And I was like, it's fine. So I went out the front door. We were on the patio area out in front of the restaurant. I went out the front door and I booked it. And I walked off because while I was I actually did go to the restroom. While I was in there, I was like, in situations like this, you question yourself and you're like, okay, am I overreacting? Am I reacting too strongly? Is this not that big of a deal? And the more I sat in it, the more I was like, no, this is disrespectful. This is not okay. This is terrible treatment. This is like, he's objectifying me and treating me like I'm less than, and not like I'm not worthy of $100 bill for dinner, and like that's not okay. So I should leave, and I shouldn't feel guilty about that, and I also don't owe him anything. So I left. I walked off. I actually walked on a grate as I was leaving, and it was very loud, so I was like, I don't know if he saw. I basically just didn't even look and like kept it moving, and I feel zero guilt about that, and I actually feel really good. I wanted to share this to spread awareness, to share just how—
All right, I've had enough. All right. So she confirmed a suspicion that I had about her from the beginning, and she gives a feminist vibe, not the original feminist, modern day feminist. Now, she also said in her video that she resents men, but she doesn't want to have a warped perception. Miss, the fact that you resent men and then you're saying that you believe that good men aren't there, but you're saying that you don't want to hate men or resent men more than you are, is contradicting. Anyways, that guy treated you as how you displayed yourself. Now, I will address that after this, but that guy was an idiot, obviously, because you invite somebody out. Yes, you are expected to pay. If you cannot pay, or better yet, if you have a budget that you're working with, It is your responsibility to communicate to that person that, hey, I really want us to do this, but this is a situation right now. That gives the other person, the opportunity to be aware of what's happening. You would have just communicated transparently, and that gives them the opportunity to give you a rebuttal, whether, hey, okay, no worries, I can chip in, or they suggest something else, blah, blah, blah. All right. But this guy didn't do that. He took her out with the expectation that he was going to get cheeks because he was going to spend money. But then the bill probably came to more than what he was expecting. And that's when he didn't know what to do more than try to, I don't know, talk her into having sex with him if he pays the date. Basically, just some exchange of favors. Guys, never do that. That's really a shitty move. And if your intention from the get go is to hit, you don't need to take her to dinner or whatever the case is, bruv. Like, a lot of times you just gotta be honest. And I am proof of that. Make your intentions clear from the get go. And a lot of guys misinterpret this. I'm not telling you to be an asshole to women. But what I'm telling you is you can display those great qualities that you have, whether you're a good conversationalist or you're very funny or you know how um to like pick at her but in a funny way. If she knows how to take a joke, you know how to plan activities, you're fun, blah blah blah. You can still display those great things, but leverage them and be honest, if you understand what I mean. But don't put up a facade or try to do the most when you know you only want one thing. Be honest, and I would say 70% of the time when you're honest with them, if they're attracted to you and they like you will still get it, bruv. You don't have to do all of this. Once they're attracted to you and they have the same aim, it's done, bruv. You don't need to do all of that, man. But anyways, with her now, she said this guy was treating her as if she's not deserving of $100 date. A first date doesn't need to be $100, even if you have it like that. The point of a first date is to learn about the other person, understand what they're like. You know what I'm saying? Really discern, do I see myself continuing to get to know this person? How does this person make me feel in person? Do I connect with this person on whatever level you're interested in, whether that's spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally? It doesn't need, it should be free. Go for a walk, or even go get ice cream, something. It doesn't need to be $100, but you have the audacity to say that I'm deserving of $100 date. No, you're not. It's a first date and it's not your boyfriend. So
I went on a first date last night, and I need to know, what is wrong with you? Truly, I've never seen anything like this in my life. But before you tell me I'm overacting, let me explain. And as always, if you like my stories, like to hear about my awful dating life, feel free to drop me a follow, and let's get right into it. So I matched with this girl on Hinge about a week ago. Cute girl, let's call her Lady. And like I said before in a previous video, I've been taking Hinge a little bit more seriously. So I have my non-negotiables on there. Have to have your own apartment or house. Can't have kids. Pretty simple. I still feel like the bar is in hell. And she actually ended up matching with me and sending me the first message. She sent me a message and it said, I checked all your boxes. I didn't even know what she meant at first, so I asked her and said, I don't have kids, I have my own place. And we started talking from there. Again, for about a week, and conversation was fine, nothing special. Vibes were good, so I asked her if she wanted to go out last night, and she said yes. She told me she didn't have a car, which normally would be a non-negotiable, but we live in Chicago. It's not that abnormal to not have a car. And sent me an address and said, can you please pick me up for our date? So I said, of course. So I get out of work yesterday, go hit the gym, go home, shower, and get ready for our date. I start heading out to the address she sent me. And I'm getting closer, and I see no houses, no apartments. But I'm like, you know what, whatever. I pull up, and I'm in a strip mall. Strip mall's got the trio, the tropical smoothie, Chipotle, Starbucks trio. It's got a thrift shop, a nail salon. I'm not seeing any apartments, houses, anywhere. I pull in, text her, tell her I'm here, ask her if I have the right place, and she goes, yes. So I say, which one is your apartment? She goes, oh, I'm actually in the nail salon just finishing up. Do you want to come in and wait for me? So I go, very odd, but sure. I walk in the nail salon, and she's sitting there, getting a pedicure done. Looks up, hey, nice to meet you. So I walk on over. Nice to meet you too. My name's Christian. She's like, I'm so sorry. I thought I would be done by now, but it should only be like 5 to 10 more minutes. And we're doing a little bit of chit chat. She's telling me she's excited for dinner. She's excited to meet me. It's an awkward way to meet someone at a nail salon. I did not see this coming. I thought I was picking her up from her apartment. And as we're talking, she casually drops in, hey, it's going to be about 120. Is that okay? And I stop for a minute. I go, huh? I just give her like a confused look. And she goes, pedicure's going to be about 120. I just wanted to look really good for you. Is that okay? And it clicks. Clicks in my brain. Oh, you want me to pay for your pedicure. That's what I feel like you're trying to tell me right now. So I finally say like, oh, you want me to cover it? She goes, well, yeah, I'm getting ready for a date for you. So I go, yeah, you know what? Sure, that makes sense. I'll cover it for you. She goes, good, you can pick out the color then. And the lady finishes scrubbing her feet or whatever. I'm not trying to look at her dogs. I'm good, not my thing. And then walks over with like a book of nail colors. I picked literally the third one I saw. Like the third one over, I picked a pink color. It looked like pink. I don't give a shit what color your nails are. But as I'm picking out the nail color, I also go, why don't we add a few things? And the worker's ears perk up immediately. And she brings me the book over. The book of pedicure additions, I guess you would call it. And I see her option. Deluxe pedicure, $120. And I go, well, what about the wax dip? Did you get the alkaline and the callus peels? Like, if we're doing this, we might as well do it big, right? I swear to God, ladies' eyes just turned into money bags. Like you would see in a cartoon. Like Donald Duck seeing money. Mr. Krabs seeing money. Oh my God, great idea. Yes, we totally should. So I go, okay, yeah, you know what? Why don't we do that too? And then we'll paint your nails. You like this pink? I picked it out for you. I love that pink. It's amazing. Thank you so much. I can't wait for dinner. And I tell her, okay, I'm going to go sit up by the front. I'll let you do your thing. Come find me when it's time to pay. So I go walk up to the front, sit in the reception area, and wait about 10 minutes. I walk back once to see how it was going. I just wanted to see if she was already painting her nails. And she was. And I'm talking to her, and lady's like, how do you like them? Do they look so good? And I'm like, yeah, your feet look great. Thank you. And as I'm talking, I'm doing the pat thing. Like I'm patting my pockets, checking around, and I'm like, oh my God, I'll be right back. I left my wallet in the car. She goes, okay, no problem. I'll see you in a minute. I walk out of the nail salon, walk to my car, sit my ass right down in my seat, and I drove away. I left. I left her in the nail salon. Because why did you think if I was offering to take you out to dinner, you thought I was going to pay for, at a minimum, $120 plus tip for you to get a pedicure? I don't even like feet. I'm good. What is wrong with you? Who raised you? And before anybody comes to me in the comments and say, Christian, that's fucked up. Why would you leave her there? Why would you add on things? Why would she invite me to pay for her nail salon? Yeah, was it a little messed up? Maybe. What are you going to do about it? Maybe she'll learn a lesson. God, free will feels amazing. But you should have seen the amount of texts I got from her last night. Like I told you, I left the nail salon. I'm driving away. I'm still going to get dinner. I still want to go get dinner. So I'm going to my reservation. I ended up eating by myself, sitting at the bar, having a beer, watching the Thunder and the Spurs game. But as I'm driving there, my CarPlay is lighting up every 5 seconds. Lady, 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 lady. I had to block her by the time I got to the bar. I'm having so much fun with this new free will thing. I'm sick of being taken advantage of.
Bro.
But let me know if I was wrong. Let me know if I was wrong to leave her.
All right. So immediately, like before he even said it, I knew where it was going. Like she was about to tell him to pay for the nails, bro. I knew where it was going. No, I've seen it so many times where a woman will call up somebody and say, hey, can you pick me up from here? When the person gets there, she now says, pay for this for me, it's $50. They don't ask, by the way, they just pay this for me. Like in this situation, bro, like he dodged a really big bullet, man. And who knows? maybe I would have done the same, or probably even worse, because I invited you out to dinner. Yes, I'm supposed to pay for the dinner, no brainer. But you're gonna tell me to pick you up somewhere that I didn't even know where you were until I got there. And then the expectation is gonna be for me to pay for whatever service you're getting done that has nothing to do with me. Yeah, you want to look good for the date. You owe that to yourself, not necessarily me, because are you gonna pay me for the deodorant and the soap that I use to freshen up to come to the date? No, because that's not an expectation of you. You looking presentable is your own responsibility, not the man's or the woman's responsibility. It's your responsibility, because going on a date is not only an opportunity to get to know the person, but it's also a sales pitch, because you have to sell yourself to that person that you're interested in, because you want that to be reciprocal or reciprocated.